New Yorker, native born, raised in New York City, big Yankee fan. Started out after finishing my degree at NYU, started out selling for IBM, SC Johnson Wax, hired me, this is back in 1993, hired me, sent me out to China, and I didn't speak Chinese. I'd never been to China before, never been to Asia before. And then my first boss back at SC Johnson, the guy who hired me into China, had joined Philips and asked me if I wouldn't be interested in doing something called a master black belt for Philips for Asia. Took successful roles in marketing as a marketing director for Asia, and then went to general management for in Australia, New Zealand, and then for Greater China for Philips. Went on to run to be a CEO for ICI AkzoNobel paints for Greater China, and then hired by Bain Capital to run American Standard for Asia Pacific. And then within the year of joining, I had to sell the business for Asia Pacific because of the economic downturn. It was a private equity company. We sold the business in Asia to a Japanese company who I work for now. So I'm the Asia Pacific CEO for American Standard. I remember in the 6th and 7th grade playing Little League Baseball. After a season or so, I discovered I could hit home runs pretty well. I could hit the ball pretty well. And the guy who hit the most home runs in the league sent his brother and his older friend after me and beat me up on the way home to teach me a lesson. What did I learn from that till now? I think you have to be resilient. You know, it's like, you know, life doesn't go up in a straight line. You know, so it's, you know, you have to be resilient. You have to discover that you do some things very, very well, and you got to stick to them. And you probably have to understand that some things you don't do as well. So therefore, you have teammates and you have colleagues around you to make up those weak points of yours. My first general manager's job for Philips, the lighting division in Australia. And it had been losing money for nearly 20 years. Retail was a profitable channel, so we had to step on the gas to try to grow share there. Wholesale was a money-losing channel, but large and worthwhile keeping, so we had to rethink how we went to market there. And finally, in the projects channel, was a money-losing, and there was no way we could make money there. So we said, well, we have to go shut that down. Again, break the rules here. I said, I don't want to be calling on 1,000 wholesale branches because we don't have enough sales to make money by calling on them. Is there someone else in the industry or in an adjacent industry who are making calls on these wholesalers that we can have them represent us? So we scoured the market, and we actually found someone in an adjacent category to lighting that was very, very, after a couple of discussions, very, very happy to represent Philips Lighting to this wholesale group. So instead of sending product to 1,000 branches and having salesmen call on 1,000 branches, we had a partnership with this other company. We shipped to one point, we used their salespeople, and we started growing our business with them quite nicely. Most people are quite nervous about change. You have to paint the picture of inaction and what that would mean for the business. And then you also have to lay out what would happen to the business if you do take strong disruptive change in a market. And generally that consequence means either more competitiveness, better growth, better profitability. So some way of being able to anticipate and then jump ahead of that change that's coming in the marketplace. So generally, I think aligning the team, aligning the organization, painting that picture out to say, okay, we need to go down this disruptive change path in order to survive in the future. So really making the status quo for the future dissatisfying is really the most important thing, number one thing to do. The next thing to be done is to have like-minded people around you. Not necessarily people who only agree with you, but to have change agents, catalysts for change around you, because they can embrace new ideas and build upon those ideas. And on the flip side, those people who are either tacitly resistant to change or overtly resistant to change need to be taken out of the organization. They need to be off the team. You'll have to realize that you will get some setbacks. Your original plan, generally they're going to be large, big, audacious changes. Your original plan inherently will need change, need some adjustment along the way. I would say have confidence enough in your future vision to stay the overall course, but make small pit stops along the way, make small adjustments, route changes along the way towards your end destination. So you'll know that it's not going to be a perfectly straight line to your destination. The last thing I probably would advise, and I've learned, is really have some clear metrics about, to indicate whether your project's on track or not on track, whether your changes are making, whether you're making changes towards the right direction, or are they not progressing towards the right direction. So really have some very, very well thought out, clear leading metrics to indicate whether your project's on track or not on track. Really what is pervasive through my style and the way I work is, speed is so important. I mean, speed is so much more important than absolute precision. So it's really important to go out there and get learning cycles under your belt. So get some iterations under your belt in terms of, yep, did that work? If it didn't, then come back and let's make a quick adjustment. Not only, proves or disproves a plan and a theory, but it also hones your intuition, right? So as a management team, also in a developing economy and developing markets, we don't have the gift of perfect market intelligence. So you really need to hone your intuition on what would work and what doesn't work, and you have to increase the speed of your execution so that you're getting feedback quite quickly. Companies that operate in China and India right now, that are emerging global companies that have learned to, again, survive in this type of downturn and have performed very, very well. Both in terms of financial performance, as well as quality performance, as well as some emerging brand performance. So they're understanding how to compete more on a global basis. So unless companies that are in established markets, unless they realize that that's coming and make the adjustment and and really drive the big change, I think that there'll be a nasty surprise down the road. That's one big, massive macro thing that will be happening. So I'm not, so you can see from a technology product standpoint, from automobiles, from basic commodities, from a lot of different standpoints. A lot of emerging big global competitors coming out of Asia in the next few years.